Haki Ammi. Hope we got a good check here. A little technical difficulties at the beginning of the show, but thank you all for tuning in. We're broadcasting live each and every Monday night, 8 p.m. on elifemedia.net. I want to thank Brother Grimes for holding it down, the show before mine, and we definitely got another show coming up here after that, and hopefully we'll get our guest on the line. I hope you all are calling in, but definitely want to give a shout out, and someone give me a text if you are receiving this. But lots going on. I'm the success scholar Haki Ammi here, and I'm here each and every Monday night, 8 p.m. But it's just an awesome opportunity to be here, broadcasting live out of Everlasting Life at 9185 Central Avenue on this rainy day. Rainy Monday. I know there's a storm coming up here, but we definitely appreciate, God's gift to us, rain. We all need rain every once in a while, and so that is what tends to happen. And so as we continue, I'm gonna share a few different things here. Just recently, we had the 7 a.m. and I just got a call that I'm going to be doing this, moderating this panel up in New York with 7 a.m.'s Mr. Don Peebles, as well as Dr. Claude Anderson, 7 a.m. documentary, and it says if you're black and broke, it's time to wake up. So definitely get yourself a copy of that. So let's talk about a few things. We apologize if I'm not able to get my guests on at this particular time, but hopefully when we take a break, we'll try to do something else and try to get you both on maybe my phone or something here, or one of the producers will perhaps give you a call on that. So we'll definitely work on that. If you all hear me out there, yes, Brother Greg Adams, we're trying to get that here, and maybe we'll do a phone thing and maybe hook the mic up to a phone, so we can make that happen. But so other than that, brothers and sisters, I've been blessed to be a ambassador of the Power of Broke. So keep trying to call in, brothers. Keep trying to call in if we're trying to reset here. But this is the Damon John book, Damon John of Shark Tank. Okay, that's one of the brothers actually calling me here, so maybe I'll just go ahead and try to get him in. So we're gonna. I don't know. I tell you what. I keep calling in. Yes, sir. I tell you what. Storm. Yeah, it may be the storm, brother, but we're gonna go ahead and get you on the line. I got my phone right here. So we still going to try to get Brother Michael on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. He might be running into the same thing I'm running into.
Yes, I'm sure about that. So I'm just trying to figure out if everyone out there in the radio land can hear me. So just to make sure that is actually going down. So.
Right.
But let's go ahead and get into this conversation, brother. I'll see if I could get Brother Michael on in a second. But okay, I'm good on the radio, they said. So just introduce yourself to the listening audience. To the listening audience out here. I don't know if you can see me, but we'll get Brother Michael Graham on in a second. If Brother Michael Graham, if you can see me out there, we'll definitely get you on, and we'll do it like this. I wanted to do my live stream, but we'll make it work like that. So, Brother Greg, I've been knowing this brother for a few years, and he's been doing some tremendous work. He's an author. He's been in the real estate business, and now he's doing some coaching work. So, brother, as well as the work with 100 Black Men, where you recently you all had an amazing event. So, just share with the listening audience exactly what you all are doing, and just introduce yourself to the listening audience.
Okay, thank you, good brother. Just really have been a servant. Really is what my life is coming to. You know, I still ask myself, what am I going to be when I grow up? Because I'm in really what I call the fourth dimension, and the fourth dimension, having been in corporate America, having worked in Black America, that's how I got to Baltimore with the National NAACP. From New York 30 years ago. I've been in Baltimore 30 years now, longest place I've ever lived since I've been on this earth. And then went back to New York with Black Enterprise Magazine, and came back, got married, got divorced, raised kids, grandfather, you know. But then I started moving into the real estate, which was always my passion. But, you know, it has a way of realigning our steps, or what we thought we were going one place, he sends us somewhere else. And I started going into the prison. Now, that was a short stint after working with the sheriff's office in Baltimore for 2 years. It never had law enforcement, but had known the sheriff and the chief, and you know, they knew that the real estate had just crumbled, and they gave me a shot, and I ended up enjoying it for a couple years. But what it did, my brother, it kind of desensitized me. I stopped turning around when I heard the men walking in chains, which was not a good thing, because I got used to hearing us in chains. And so what I ended up doing is I ended up you know, ultimately talking to the Creator, and he was telling me, hold it. You know, I'm really preparing you. So, you know, in a nutshell, brother, in the last 5 years, I've been in 8 prisons, homeless shelters, our Daily Bread, Code Blue, Maryland New Directions, McVets, 9/11, just really trying to change lives and really figuring out what my real purpose is to be on this earth, my razor on death row. So, you know, that changed everything. And the author part, which, you know, I can't hardly read. How in the world am I going to be an author? You know what I'm saying? And then he brings you into these levels that transcends your own personal abilities. And now I'm on my 3rd book, and first book being called From Bankruptcy to Bounty, which I'm happy to say I've given away almost 1,000 of them in the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services in the state of Maryland. And I thought I was going to just be author and speaker around the country, you know, but oftentimes, you know, you're this journey that we're on, because we're not headed one place. It's a journey. It's a process. You know, has you going to different locations, and you know, that's where I found myself. And one guy, because I'm involved with as the chairman of the board for Richard Wright Charter School of Journalism and Media Arts in Washington. Dr. Marco Clark asked me, he says, well, what, you know, we got to get you to go down one road, you know, and, you know, kind of, I mean, is this ministry, is this business, what is this? And when I really stopped and looked at it, Haki, I really saw that the life coaching that had already gone and, you know, gotten the certification for certified life coach many years prior. But I called it that. You know, I never really called it that, and oftentimes we've been given more gifts than we realize. You know, society tells us that we have to be good at one thing, but, you know, with the talent, some of us been given more than one talent. Okay, so we've got to learn how to stretch and, you know, go in, you know, different directions. So that's how I find myself here. Oh, this must be Elijah Cummings' car in front of me. I said, U.S. Congress number 7. That's got to be Elijah. That's got to be. I'm right behind him at the post office.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shout out our congressman
No doubt.
from Maryland for his work. So, you know, you've been very active, you know, really doing some community service, and it always seems like whatever you do, you always put, you know, God and you know, and the community in the forefront of your experience in life. So, and congratulations for your recent, you know, decision to connect with, you know, the 100 black men of Prince George's County, and this amazing event that you all put together. So, what was it like? You know, I mean, I know you've been.
You, Congressman. I love you, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm literally on live radio right now, literally. And I said, hold it, that's my favorite congressman.
Yeah,
right
go
there.
ahead.
And here he is. Bless you.
Tell them we want to get them on here.
I keep telling we want to get you on there. We will.
Talk about these elections. Right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that was him. So you can keep with his prayers, but now that's a prayer warrior right there. My God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But you're right, Haki. You know, I've always once he slapped me upside my head and let me know how I'm eating, how I'm moving, and having my being. I've been trying to, not trying, I hate that word trying. In fact, when I teach classes and facilitate, I don't let people use the word trying because that gives you the escape hatch. I always have to give credit to whom credit is due first and foremost. Because I would cease to exist if I didn't. I think the older we get, the more we recognize our divinity within our humanity. And on the front end of our life, we were just invincible. We were invincible. And then the older you get, the wiser you get, you realize that it has never been us anyway. You know, and I've had a pleasure on my books. I always write servant because that's who I am. When I walk into prison, I tell them I'm a servant. Don't matter where I've been, what I've done. You know, I had the pleasure of serving with 100 black men of Prince George's County. I've just had a fantastic event.
Yes.
A sellout crowd at the Camelot. Raised $50,000 at the brunch.
Wow.
Okay,
yes,
at
sir.
the brunch for the youth programs. You know, working in the church, working at YMCA's. I'm a mentor there. Like I said, pleasure serving the youth in D.C. for Richard Wright Charter School under the direction of Dr. Marcus Clark, the only charter school in the nation's capital that focuses on journalism and media arts. Because we need our people everywhere. Presently a member of the board of the Baltimore City Chamber of Commerce, the mayor's council on reentry. Man, the more I think about it, bro, I think I'm tired of just listening to what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, you know, and I've had the pleasure of meeting people such as yourself and the other gentleman coming on, Mike Graham, a part of the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber of Commerce, back there originally when Ray Haysbert and the crew was in there.
Mm.
And so, this has been a fascinating journey. But the last 4 or 5 years, as you know, I've been a care provider.
Right.
For my parents, and then Mom died last year,
Yes,
and then now I still have
right.
my father, who I am. It's like you've got an additional child. I mean, it's like you got the same responsibilities. Never in my mind, in my wildest dream, would I think that I would be feeding and clothing my parents, and then being their parent. It says once a man, twice a child, and if you should live so long.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had the honor, and I don't know why I was elected, because I sure was not elected. I was selected by the creator of the universe to do that, and I've just been grateful ever since. So I'm working right now on coming to the federal prison, Chesapeake Detention Center, with those guys are going right to the feds. And then I'm going to go back to Baltimore Pre-Release Unit, which are the people who are coming out. I've got a program called What's Next?
Okay.
Where do we go after we leave here?
Wow.
Okay. And I have found, when I used to teach Sunday schools to the young men, that I told them it was better to give than it was to receive. And brother, I can tell you, if you keep giving, that is even more enjoyable than receiving, because I don't tell the whole world, just in case, it's just between us, that God's going to bless you to be able to give more away, and that the giving is worth more than the getting.
Mm-hmm.
To give to help the youth. We were just at the general meeting for Baltimore Chamber of Commerce last week, and one of the newly elected city council persons, well, she came and did a pitch about Big Brother, Big Sister. Well, that morning, I had said, God, what is my next frontier? Where else am I going? Where else can you use me to serve? And, brother, I'm down for that. I'm about to, enter into some other relationships. But ultimately, brother, it's what we give on this earth is so much more important than what we get. Once you eat, you got a roof over your head, you may be able to get to and from, you got reasonable health, good health, praise the Lord, great health, thank you. At the end, my whole focus now is generational blessing. It's really about from one generation to another, to another, to another, to another.
Ashe. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'll tell you what, brother, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to try to get Brother Michael Graham on. I don't know how much time you had, or okay.
I'll hang around and listen to my mentor.
Yeah, we'll let you kind of, come on back in and, add on to that. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back, all right?
All right,
thanks.
Sounds great.
All right, well, we ready to go live now. Okay, 5, 4, 3, where we at? All right, we're back live here. Thank you all for tuning in to Holler at the Success Scholar here at eLife Media. And I have the pleasure, but before that, for those that can see, I don't know if any visuals are there. I wanted to put my book up here for those that are live, eLife Media. We had someone say that maybe they couldn't see us, but Mission Unstoppable, and we will be working on part 2 with that. And Dr. Randall Pickett will be in the part 2 of that book. So Dr. Randall Pickett and George Frazier. So looking forward to that. But I have on the line with me a brother. He's going to be joining, and he's going to join myself and Brother Greg Adams here. He's done tremendous work between the Baltimore and Prince George's County area and all over the world. I remember him from the Baltimore chapter, Black Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Maryland Minority Business Directory, and he's always been a progressive force in terms of economics and understanding the dynamics of business, and he's really has set an example, as Brother Greg alluded. He is his mentor in a sense, and he has set a tremendous example for success in business. I recall him from, I believe the correct term is the Maryland Minority Business Directory, but he'll correct me with that. But now he is the CEO publisher of Heart and Soul magazine, and I have on the line with me. Welcome to eLife Media, Brother Michael Graham. Thank you for joining us. Can you hear me?
Brother Haki, I can hear you, and it's a pleasure to be a part of your maiden voyage, your new acquisition and radio program. So I'm happy to be with you.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. Now, I mean, share what some of the things that you've done. Now, I mean, it could be we could be here all night for that, but you know, if correct me, I recall you from the Maryland Minority Business Directory. Is that the proper term for it? And how long did that go for?
No, it was actually the Minority Business and Consumer Resource Directory.
Right. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
And I did that for, I guess, about 12 years.
Good
12
one.
to
Good
15
one.
years, something like that.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Just before we acquired Heart and Soul Media in 2012. So, and just to correct you, I am one of the owners, but
okay.
I am not the president and CEO. I'm the executive vice president of corporate relations, communications, special projects, and events.
Okay. Thank you for that correction. I wanted to ask you that, so I knew it was one of those titles. But yeah, so I appreciate that feedback. So, in terms of, you know, the evolution of Heart and Soul magazine and even publishing, and I know it's been a learning curve coming from, so the Maryland Minority Business Directory is mostly in the state of Maryland. I mean, I'm sure you might have had some Virginia-based clients and maybe a couple Delaware, you know, but you know, it kind of laid the foundation for Heart and Soul. Would you say that, and how to take it national? What has been some of your experiences?
Well, absolutely. The MBCRD, which is the acronym for the Minority Business and Consumer Resource Directory, was a publication that started in Baltimore, and we expanded to cover the DMV, so Northern Virginia, D.C., and Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me my chops to be able to transition from a publishing perspective, understanding all aspects of publishing, into this platform that I currently have at my disposal now, which is another challenge because it's a national platform.
Right.
So all of those things that are required locally, you take that and you grow that exponentially so that you can have a national footprint. We actually print 300,000 every time we print, and we print 6 times a year. It's a bi-monthly publication that has a readership of about 1.5 million currently per issue, as well as our website, which also has our online edition, and all of our stories and our social media platform, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So all of those things that I did locally with the directory prepares me for the platform that God has blessed me with now.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so wow, so you're up to 300,000 per month. Wow. And did you all? I mean, did you increase in terms of social media? And of course, you have a larger platform now, and I'm sure that it is international in your reach. But in your role as the executive producer and in charge of special events, explain your role in terms of how, because I know you're out there, and I assume that that's your role, to create these contacts and networks, as well as doing events. I know you did something recently in Philadelphia.
Yes, sir. Well, my role primarily is that I am the external force for the publication. I'm for lack of a better term, I'm one of the faces for A Heart and Soul. I go into corporations. There are 2 ways we feed the publication. One is from a sales perspective. We go through the agencies. Agencies have all of the corporate clients. So when you think about a Johnson & Johnson or an IKEA or any of those types of brands, hair care products, travel products, they usually have an advertising agency that places their advertisers. And part of our sales staff goes to those advertising agencies to solicit business. And I call that the bottom-up approach. I take the top-down approach. So I go directly, and I have relationships with major corporations where I'm able to better influence the vision of a corporation as to how it is going to impact a community of women of color, because that's our focus. Our focus is health, fitness, and wellness for women of color, and that's the healthcare community, that's fitness, nutrition, and the like, and it's also under wellness. It's spiritual wellness, it's economic wellness. It's entrepreneurship, it's lifestyle. So those are the things that I impact from a corporate perspective, to indoctrinate our brand to corporate America. Because quite often, folks in corporate America don't understand our community, or they say, well, we'll get them with general market advertising because they listen to their advertising agencies as it pertains to that, with the exception of the Burrells and the Williams agencies and those types of advertising agencies. You don't really see the imaging and the branding of people that look like you, for people that want to sell their products to you.
Wow.
So it's important that I have an opportunity to establish relationships with corporations at a very, very high level, so that I can relay to them what they're missing. What often happens, Haki, is that you get people at an agency level, and very few of them outside of Black-owned agencies and Hispanic-owned agencies that are sensitized to the needs, wants, and desires and buying patterns of Black folks.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we, as a community, of a black community, a Hispanic community, an Asian community, we over-index in every product area. You think about any product, and black folks over-index it. And by that I mean we buy more than the general market buys. You talk about cell phones, we buy more cell phones. You talk about, and remember, we're only 13-14% of the totality of the American population as it stands right now.
Mm-hmm.
That shift is obviously taking place. But when you have folks that don't know and don't understand how our community buys things, how our community is sensitized to things, then they say, well, we can get them with general market advertising. And my counter argument to that is, well, if I'm looking at television, or I'm looking in the pages of a magazine, and I don't see me, then why would I buy this product?
Right.
Because you're not making a conscious effort to try to come to get my dollar. And we as a community give our dollar away far too easily. You know, you don't see that happen in other communities. Forget the white community. I'm talking about Asian communities and Hispanic communities. You have to fight for their dollars just like you have to fight for their vote. And we have to make it so that folks stand up and take notice that, yes, we have money. You know, we are reflective of the overall marketplace. So there are those that have money. There are those that live in abject poverty. But the people that live in abject poverty, my brother, are not as high a percentage as some media outlets would have you believe. You know, in some inner cities, you have a lot of that, but you also have a lot of people that's doing well that live in the city, that enjoy living in the city.
Right.
You know, so how do you talk to those people? How do you reach those folks? You know, and the same way you've always done things is not the way to continue to do things. It's not the way you continue to impact communities. And our target is women, because women make the majority of the buying decisions in a household.
Right.
Contrary to a lot of the testosterone that rolls around in our communities. You know, women are the ones that make the majority of decisions when they go into the market to shop. Well, you know, they're the ones that's doing that. They're buying for the kids. They're making health care decisions. They're making decisions on what toothpaste to buy. You know, so you got to talk to them in a way that is reflective of their sensibilities. And when corporations and advertising agencies don't get that, then somebody has to deliver that message. That somebody on behalf of Heart and Soul is me.
Wow.
So that's what I do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And as we, you know, as we had this conversation before, when people think of a, you know, black-owned magazine catering to women, and you know, and as I was sharing with you about how I went to the founder of Essence magazine, he had a brunch in the Baltimore area. The library brought him in, the Enid Pratt Free Library. Brought him to the Maryland area, and I got the book. I was like, let me read this book, and you know, it was really interesting, you know, because it made me think, you know, about you and what you all are doing with Heart and Soul magazine. Although Heart and Soul has, you know, I mean, well, how long has Heart and Soul been around totally? Let me ask you that.
Heart and Soul has been in existence for 23 years.
Oh,
we are
the
fifth ownership group of Heart and Soul. Initially, Heart and Soul was started in Atlanta. Wow, it was then sold to BET, to Rodale Press. Then it was sold to BET.
Oh, wow.
BET, when it was bought by Viacom, spun it off as part of the package to to keep Clink Scales, who had Heart and Soul, Emerge, Vibe. When that went bankrupt, it went to Edwin Avent, another brother from Baltimore, who's a friend of mine.
Right.
And we bought it from Edwin. So we're the fifth iteration of Heart and Soul. Heart and Soul had primarily been, had kind of straddled the fence of what it was trying to do and what it was trying to be. When our ownership group took it over, we immediately began to shift the focus more to health and wellness and fitness. You know, it always had some of those components, but it also wanted to be a lifestyle magazine. Well, that's all good and fine for them then, but our perspective was, well, if you want lifestyle, you can go to Essence, you can go to Ebony. You know, Essence and Ebony, you know, those titles might give you during Breast Cancer Awareness Month a breast cancer story. Well, 60 to 70% of our content is health. We have an MOU with the NMA, the National Medical Association, which is all the black docs across the country. So, you know, that source is an authoritative source when it comes to medical information. We're very proud of that because we want to arm our community with the information that is necessary in order to make the decisions so that you can live a long and healthy life. You know, I often say, I'm almost 60 years old now, and I often say that for me personally, I don't mind living to be a centurion as long as I can function as a centurion. I'm not interested in being in this world where I have to depend on somebody to take care of me. That's not, you know, that's not what I'm interested in. So what has to happen in order for that to happen? You have to be armed with the information and then utilize that information so that you can live your best, highest, and best self. That's what Heart and Soul is geared toward doing, helping people live their highest, greatest self for as long as possible. So we have to do certain things. We have to make certain sacrifices. Some of the things that our community, again, we over-index in, you know, the things that are killing us. I don't begrudge someone from having some bacon, but understand where bacon comes from. Understand what it does. Understand what a pig does, you know, to survive. You know, and then you have to ask yourself, man, do you want that in your system? You know?
Yes, sir. Well, Brother Greg. Brother Greg.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here.
Well, just add on to that, brother. What do you know, your experience has been with Brother Michael Graham and, you know, Heart and Soul. You've been around. You've seen a lot. Just add any inputs that you've seen, you know, with the evolution of Heart and Soul magazine and Brother Mike Graham, and both of you are in 100 Black Men of Prince George's County. So just add on, brother, to what you see in terms of what this what he's doing and what the potential, you know, because I want people to realize this not just some regular brother I got up on here talking. So I want y'all to know that this is really a tremendous a powerful thing that can truly impact our community. If it certainly has already, but you know, it's just continuing to grow.
Oh, absolutely. Michael Graham has when I came here with the NAACP 30 years ago, I met Michael, and we hit it off instantly. And at the time, he was doing Graham's Groove now on the radio station.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, oh man, he was the voice of Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah, so and I mean, we've been friends ever since.
Okay.
I mean, and I watched him evolve. I remember, and he and I laugh about this from time to time. When I was working at the Higher Regency on Capitol Hill, he came in and said he's going to start this magazine.
Okay.
And I didn't know anybody who had started the magazine. He started it from the ground up.
Right.
And I'm like, where's the beef? You know? But look, he found the beef.
Right.
You know, he learned it and he perfected it. I mean, to a point that, you know, it was certainly the best publication in the DMV, and I had never seen one better in America. Okay? Ever. And, I mean, that's not just because he's on the phone. I said that to him, and I would have showed him one that was better if there was one, but I never found one better. And he's always been a friend and brother and a mentor, because I love to see somebody just, you know, just go beyond what others thought they could do and still have that normal, natural touch, you know, and just, you know, just who he is. I mean, it's the same guy that I met 30 years ago, you know, a little grayer, but that's about it, you know. You know, that is about it, but just always on it. Always on it. See, I don't know him before coming to Baltimore 30 years ago. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, and, you know, I'm in 100 Black Men. I tell the world publicly and privately because of Michael Graham. You know? You know, he saw something there, and he's been involved for over 20 years. I mean, he's one of the godfathers in the state of Maryland and around the country.
Wow.
You know, so he's definitely connected, and I'm just honored to call him friend.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, well, just all right, brother Michael Graham. Yeah, he said it, he made it known. So talk, what's this Graham's groove? I know about that, brother. Graham's groove.
A lifetime ago, when I first started my career, my career started in radio.
Okay.
Coming out of college, I started in radio. I was a producer for. Once I produced the Alan Christian Show straight out of college. Even before I finished college, I was. They called me, and I became a producer for the Alan Christian Show, which was talk radio on WFBR in Baltimore.
Oh, FBR, all right.
And probably 2 books, which is 6 months after I became the producer of Alan's program, we became the #1 talk show in the market in our time slot.
All right.
And from there, you know, I was one of 2 blacks at WFBR at the time.
Okay.
And it's you know, and I will tell anybody, I am a proud product of West Baltimore. Born, raised, cut my teeth, fought my fights, you know, all of that in that North and Pulaski, Fulton and Baker, North and Pennsylvania area.
Woo!
That
all
was
right,
my starting grounds. So
yes, sir.
That's how I started, and I transitioned there, and I became the executive producer for talk programming for WEAA.
Okay.
And at the time, that's when EAA was really took another leap forward in doing what they were doing from a talk radio perspective, because I brought that talent to the table, man. You know, EAA had always had folks like Kwesi. Kwesi had a very popular talk radio show at EAA for years and years and years. And we came in after that. In fact, I had just got appointed to those positions when I met Gregory in 1987. When he first came here. So it was interesting, and I was doing aside from doing the talk radio thing, the same thing that you're doing now, I also had a music show called Graham's Groove, which was a Quiet Storm type format.
Ah, okay. Okay.
And that was the #1 radio show in the market at the time. I didn't believe there was anybody that could top doing what I did. I believe that I'm a firm believer if you're going to do something, you have to be the best at it. So I perfected my craft. But sales was always what I was interested in. I mean, I parlayed that stint at EAA, which I was volunteering at the time because I was working at WFBR. And I became the sales manager for WEBD, which was Dorothy Brunson's station.
Oh, right, yes. Okay.
Yep. And then I became the general sales manager for the Maryland State Network, which was a network of radio stations across the state from a sales perspective. Then I decided that I was making everybody else rich, and I was only getting a percentage of the pie, so why not flip the script and do my own thing.
Right.
And that's when I started Graham Communications, which I still own to this day.
Right.
Which is marketing, advertising, marketing, and public relations.
Okay.
And, you know, I've been fortunate to have some pretty hefty clients that I've done work for locally as well as nationally, and helped propel them and helped with corporations understanding how to impact the urban marketplace. You know, we put together all types of strategies. As part of that, I took on political clients. So one of Gregory's former bosses, Sheriff John Anderson, was a client of mine.
Okay.
Michael Steele and Bobby Ehrlich were clients of mine.
Okay.
I had you know, many council people. Elijah was a client of mine. I helped him. Sheila Dixon was a client of mine. I've helped her. I didn't help her in this last mayoral bid, but I've helped her. So it's you know, the list kind of goes on and on, both locally and nationally. I mean, with the 100, I was the national director of communications and public relations for the 100 Black Men of America. My job was to go all across the country and help people understand what the 100 brand was, with all of our chapters, with all of our, at that time it was 98 chapters across the country, and now again we're in 119 chapters around the world.
No, beautiful.
So,
didn't know that one.
You know,
yeah.
So I've done those kinds of things in my life because that's where God directed me to best utilize my talents. I worked hard to procure those talents. I studied hard to make sure, again, that I was the best that I could be. And then I had the opportunity to finish up my education at Dartmouth, which I did. And you know, it's interesting how that little pedigree helps you to walk into some doors of corporate America for people to take you seriously.
Right.
But I'm still the same cat from West Baltimore, 1500 Block of Pulaski Street. You know, because I don't believe that you can lose that which is your foundation for growth.
Right.
You know, the essence of who you are. It allows me to communicate with anybody from Baltimore's Pennsylvania Avenue to DC's Pennsylvania Avenue, and anywhere in between.
Right. Sounds good, brother. So definitely. So we're gonna get ready to close on out here, brother Mike Graham. That was the conversation we needed to have, because I did not know, you know, much of the things you shared. So I think we've covered certainly a lot of ground here with, you know, sharing just, you know, what is possible, and that's what this show is about. You know, we want to let people know, regardless of where you start, you know, and both of you always have jokes for me, like, yeah, brother, I remember when you were you were a little different.
You're talking about the hairdo. You gotta be talking about the hairdo. You don't even look the same. I thought he was his little brother.
Yeah, well, you know, it's
the evolution of a human being.
Yes, sir. And you know, some people always share with me, like, you know, Kwesi Mfeme used to be like that, you know, like he used to be like this, and you know, and it's like, well, you know, I'm like, all right, well, you know, it's just interesting how people, you know, you become wiser, and hopefully, you know, we all shall, you know, develop wisdom and maturity in our experiences, and we try to learn from, you know, the wise individuals that are in our community, and that's the challenge that we have. And so I appreciate both of you, just, you know, the community aspect work that you all are continuing to do to make yourself available because we have to, as we continue to reach up to other individuals, we also have to have a hand reaching down to those that actually are trying. You know, it's different. I mean, because sometimes folk, you know, it's like we're not going to save everybody, but understanding for those that say they tired, they want to do something better, you know, we have to say, you know what, we're gonna make it happen for you. But, you know, if you put in the work, you show up and you show some determination, some initiative, and a will to become somebody in this world, you know, there are people out here that's going to make it happen for you. And I firmly believe that. And so I just appreciate both of you brothers. If you want to put out both of your contact information or any final words that you want to share, we'll go with you first, Brother Greg.
I just want to again thank you for having this opportunity. You know, again, what I want to stress to people is that you don't have to be just good at one thing. See, until you heard Mike just go through all the different aspects of communications, okay, he's really in the communications business. But he went through different aspects that we didn't, and most people didn't know about. You know, I didn't know all of that. I knew about, of course, Graham's Groove, which precipitated even the discussion. But we're also given multiple talents. But see, he's bringing it all to head. You're bringing it all together. That's what I was saying about the life coaching. Is it ministry or is it business? Well, no, it's changing people's lives for the better. It's speaking life into someone and having them elevate. But there's one common thread that Michael and I both have said. We talked about what God has led us to do.
Yes.
Now, when we were younger men and not as gray, as had hair, because when I met Michael, we both had hair. Okay, we wanted to talk about what God was doing. What we were doing. We the man. Now we know the man. And
yes,
so
sir.
now
Yes, sir.
we move in that universe. So that's all I want to say. Move in the universe, keep growing, and I still don't know what I'm gonna be when I grow up.
Move in the universe. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for that, Brother Gregory Adams, life coach. Appreciate that comment. And now we'll go to you, Brother Michael Graham. Any closing words and contact information or what you want to put out?
Well, first of all, Haki, thank you for the opportunity to be of service. It has been my joy to be on the radio with you for this particular aspect of your evolution.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. I've watched you for many, many, many years. I was happy to reconnect with you, and I'm happy to see the direction that you're going. You're doing great things, and you know, if I can be of any assistance or service to you, then I will happily do that. I will happily open the door if you need a door opened. I might know one or two people in this world that can help you.
Yes, sir. Brother Mike Graham know pretty much everybody in the state of Maryland, so I definitely appreciate it, and all over the country. Well, I appreciate that opportunity, and I know you'll be at the Power Networking Conference, and looking forward. Hopefully, Brother Greg will be joining us as well, but there'll be a lot more opportunity for us to connect, and, you know, we had that power thing, brunch with Dr. Randall Pickett and Brother Gregory. He shared that, you know, you all raised $50,000 for the community in the Prince George's County area. So that's an amazing accomplishment for the 100 black men of Prince George's County. So I'm just, you know, it was just good for me to show up and be around some brothers that, are about making moves and about making a difference in our community. I've always tried to be about community, but we know that, you're not going too far if you don't have no money. So
You need to say that again, brother, so folks understand.
yes, sir. So I understood that. It took me some years to get it clear, but now I'm going to raise it up a little bit.
It took Brother Greg a minute too, but he he got it too. Finally.
All right. Yes, sir. So definitely appreciate both of you gentlemen. We're going to sign out here. The eLife Media, elifemedia.net. Appreciate the brothers Gregory Adams and Michael Graham, life coach, and Heart and Soul magazine. So I don't know if do we have the other sister coming on live? Oh, yes, sir. I'm good. So, yeah. So we closing out here, brothers and sisters. So thank you all for tuning in. All right. So you all enjoy your evening, and thank you both, and we'll be in touch for sure. Yes, thanks. Okay, all right. So we got both of those gentlemen off, and I've been advised that we may have a few more seconds here. So that was a sister who said she's on 9 to 11. She was on Facebook talking about I'm on Monday 9 to 11. I was trying to look up a. Okay, who's
Kim?
What does she do?
She does variety music.
Okay. Okay.
In the morning.
All right. I'm sitting up here looking. Oh, wait a minute. I can go live now. Let me just do this little Facebook thing here. So definitely, I ain't gonna hold you up, brother. But so thank you all, brothers and sisters. I'm here live here at eLife Media, and I'm here each and every Monday night. 8 to 9 p.m. Our studio number is 240-455-5934. And looking forward to the opportunity of being here a little bit more. We had tonight with us, we apologize for you, but we had Brother Michael Graham of Heart and Soul magazine. He's been doing some tremendous work, but let me just go ahead and give a quick shout out to several operations. Actually, 7 a.m. the film, definitely 7 a.m. the film. We're looking forward to the Power Networking Conference. This is the first of a series of six years coming to the Power Networking Conference. It's going to be at the Gaylord in National Harbor. So it'll be here. It started in Cleveland, went to Atlanta, then on to Dallas, Texas, and now it will be here in the Prince George's County area. So definitely looking forward to that. And of course, my book, Mission Unstoppable, Extraordinary Stories of Failure's Blessings. I tell you, I just continue to get reviews about this, Les Brown, Dr. George Frazier, and myself. Yes, that's me in the middle. I didn't photo enhance or implant myself in that, but definitely my book, and my website is successscholarhaki.com. So we're looking forward, I definitely have some of my books there at the Power Networking Conference. And part two to that is the, Mission Unstoppable Part 2. And we're going to have Dr. Randall Pickett. Dr. Randall Pickett, many people know him from The Celebrity Apprentice. He will be in our Part 2 books. And one day we may have him in here. So looking forward to that. And of course, I had the opportunity. You can check my Facebook or Harambe Books. I post on there pretty regularly, but this is the Power Broke Damon John Shark Tank. I had the opportunity to meet Damon John of Shark Tank on about 3-4 months ago. We were in Coral Gables, Florida. He was doing a book signing, so I had the opportunity to connect with him. And finally, of course, one more. You heard from Mr. Michael Graham. He lives right out in a magnificent house, a beautiful house in Bowie, Maryland, but he is with Heart and Soul magazine. But I also had this book. Hey, Akina, Allen, how you doing? I'm sorry. Yes, the man of Essence, the founder of Essence magazine. This book just really shared, it gave me a little bit of unique vision in terms of where, like Michael Graham was sharing, he started off in radio. Michael Graham started off in radio. Then he had his own directory, had a different radio shows on Morgan State, WEAA in the Baltimore area, as well as WFBR, so I didn't know all that about Michael Graham, and now he is working with this Heart and Soul magazine, and he's just really growing, he's just really growing with Heart and Soul magazine, so I'm looking forward to that, and that's why I reached out to them right now, before we have this Power Networking Conference. He and Brother Gregory Adams, a life coach, former real estate guru, I knew him from the real estate, but yeah, so I'm going to close on out here, brothers, and I want to thank our producer, Brother Quasey, not here today, but we have Brother Reggie in the house, so I want to thank you, brother, for holding it down. I know the storm, and yeah, it's supposed to be some major thunderstorms all around, so I tell you, for those that may not know, I work in emergency medical services, EMS, so I always say, if you don't have to be out, don't go out, so definitely stack up on water. I don't know what kind of hurricane it is right now, but it may not necessarily be a hurricane. But just wanted to share and thank you all for tuning in. We're going to do this again next week, and we'll see who we're going to have here coming back on. So I appreciate you all joining us. We just stayed a little extra time just with the grace and thanks of Brother Reggie, and shout out to Dr. Baruch and the whole eLife Media, Everlasting Life family. So you're tuned into Holla at the Success Scholar. Till next week, till we free. Peace.
Check out Ground Social Station.